Well, hello, good people. How's everyone doing? I've been sitting here talking to the camera recording, and it was not recorded, so we're trying this again. So, what I wanted to say is, forgive me for not being here last weekend. I started feeling terrible Sunday afternoon. It lasted hours of Sunday into the sleep, into the wee hours. I got that hard hard night to try to get some rest. My sinuses and everything was just going crazy, sneezing, runny eyes, coughing, spitting up, just whatever. It was terrible Sunday evening. It was terrible Monday. Had to take Monday off work. It was terrible Tuesday. Had to take Tuesday off work. By Tuesday evening, I started feeling much better. So Wednesday, I returned to work. Didn't get a chance to drop a video on Sunday, nor Monday, nor Tuesday because of the way I was feeling. Thought I would make up for it sometime during the week. Well, it was playing catch up all week long. So it's now Saturday evening. So here we are, right? Here we are. So please forgive me. I wanted to talk about somewhat about the state of the markets, right? In my opinion, the market is always going up. In my opinion, the market is always going down. That's the name of the game of investing in the market, right? When you do your research, when you come up with your own strategies, and you are the captain of your portfolio, so you have to decide, what you're going to do. As my good friend in my mind, my good friend Chris Sane, he likes to say, if this, then that. So you should always have a plan of what you're going to do. If this, then I'll do then that. And then when something else changes, then you got to pivot to something else. But if you have a strategy and you have a plan and you're doing your research and you're following what's going on, it should be an easy process in pivoting and continuing forward with your strategy to get to where you're going and building your financial wealth, right? So with that being said, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a fiduciary. I'm just sharing my knowledge, sharing my little experience, and sharing some tips and try to encourage you to continue on forward in your financial journey, right? So there are a lot of things on the horizon, right? A lot of analysts are saying that Bitcoin probably around the middle of October should hit its peak, and that peak is expected around 170, 174, right? And I believe Bitcoin will continue to soar throughout the end of the year, November and December, somewhere around hopefully 200K, right? But, excuse me, there is such a thing as crypto winter. And I believe crypto will be going into crypto winter in 2026. And crypto winter normally lasts 2.5 years, right? Respect it or not, right? And even though Bitcoin and Ethereum both have their spot ETF, I believe they will experience both both Bitcoin and Ethereum will still experience a crypto winter. It just won't look anything like it's past crypto winters due to the fact it's now have spot ETFs, and that's a part of people's 401k now, and so it will always remain somewhat popular. So, but it behooves you to, when Bitcoin pops around 170, 174, you being the captain of your own portfolio, do what's best for you. But I would think it would be a good time to take some profit off the table, take some gains off the table, right? Whatever percentage of your position you think is makes the most sense to you in the direction you're trying to go in. I also was saying when I thought I was recording, August and September are notorious two of the worst months in the stock market. Well, August is just about over. August will be rolling out on tomorrow, the last day, the 31st, right? And August, more or less, has been a good month in the stock market and in the crypto for various reasons, right? So we survived August. Now we're going into September, again, one of the worst months in the market. And I believe one of my mentors was saying that, excuse me, 2 worst days in September. I'm not certain. I wrote it down, but I think it's on my desk at work. And I think those 2 worst days are like the 16th and the 17th, somewhere thereby. Not certain, somewhere thereby, right? But anyway, so you know, you always have to be, you know, as you do your research, as you do your study, as you follow these different influencers, right? And we bring different points of view to you. Then you need to make some mental notes. You need to make some notes, make a journal to compare the knowledge and figure out how it's going to cause you to make adjustments in your strategy to keep moving forward in your financial journey, right? So a lot of folks have been saying, when I say folks, I'm talking about Larry Jones and Keelan Grace, Stock Mode, Chris Sane, and Stocks with Josh. There are others, but I'm talking about those, right? Those 4. They have been saying cash up for September. So when buying opportunity present itself. All right. That's all I'm going to say about that. You know, when there are dips in the market, when there are crashes in the market, when there are pulls in the market, when the market dropped down 20, 30%, you want to be able to take advantage of those opportunities. Case in point, let's go back to Liberation Day. Liberation Day, somewhere thereby, market crashed, and it was scary for a hot second, right? But it was insane buying opportunity. What do I mean? I know you could scroll back to some of my videos and I will say the buying opportunity that Hims presented, the buying opportunity that Meta presented, the buying opportunity that AppLovin presented, the buying opportunity that the QQQ presented, the SPY, and the list goes on and on and on because everything had dropped like crazy, right? Meta had fallen from $6.95 all the way down to 4 something, I think 4.88. Well, I started buying Meta when it fell down a little bit over 100, and I kept picking it up as it kept falling. And by the time it got down to 5.25, I had no more dry powder to take advantage of Meta. So when it fell down to below 5 into the 4s, all the way down to 4.88, yours truly couldn't take advantage of that. So you know, it's the name of the game, right? But I yet made anyway. So we all know now. What is that? Meta is back up in the 700s, right? QQQs had fallen down to, it was 100 and something below. I know because I seen mine soar $142 a share. So, you know, and then you had AppLovin. I don't remember where it fell, but it fell pretty far. How do I know? Because I saw my AppLovin shares were up like over 200 and something a share, right? Those are the opportunities that happen when the market crashed and created great buying opportunities for great stocks, right? So there are cheap stocks that we buy, right, to do plays off of. But when the market crashes and you have a buying opportunity to get great stocks, great companies at a discount, then you don't go run into the you don't go run into the cheap stock. The cheap stocks is a play. The blue chip stocks are long-term hold. And even if you're doing a play off a couple of them, you know, you it's more of a sure opportunity than it is when you play with your plays and you wait on, okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. So, but, you know, so there are great things on the horizon for stock and crypto. great. We're expecting good buying opportunities, stock and crypto, in September, right? And then we're expecting the market to rebound nicely in October, stock market, crypto market, right? But if you're not prepared for it beforehand, doesn't matter what it do, right? Doesn't matter if houses come on sale tomorrow for $10,000 if you don't have $10,000, right? Don't matter if a house come on sale for $10,000 if one, you don't have 10,000, two, you're not financially positioned to borrow 10,000, then you can't take advantage of the opportunities. So you might as well not even know about it. Same thing with anything in life. You have to be prepared. You have to be prepared when you go into an interview. You have to be prepared when you're going on your job, right? You got to take the tools you need. You got to be in the mindset you need. You got to be to eat some lunch or to eat some breakfast so you can have strength, energy, nourishment to perform your job, right? When I come in here, I got to be done something to have something to present, right? So you have to be prepared for whatever it is you're doing in life. If you're not prepared, hey, I did a video on it, but it's been said that chance favors a prepared mind. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. No, I didn't plan to fail. If you fail to plan, there is no name on that thing, right? Whosoever fails to plan automatically, by their action of not being prepared, automatically plan to fail, because you don't have any direction that you're going in. You don't have any base to build upon. So you just all over, and so you will automatically, all right, I've made that point, I'm going to move on. We want to look forward to making some life-changing money this year, right? But that means you've been preparing all year round. Some folks been preparing throughout crypto winter, right? So if you've been prepared throughout crypto winter, there have been plenty of opportunities to take some proper profit taking along the way, right? I remember those times that I showed my portfolio and I showed how my Gala was looking up and how my ICP was looking up and how different positions were looking up. Did I take profit? Someone say, you better bet your bottom dollar. Well, I did what was best for me and mine, right? So, but then even though I took profit, I'm always buying. What did I say? BB, always be buying. Always be buying. ABB, always be buying. I'm always buying week in and week out from my side hustle money, right? So when I take profit, that's okay. I'm still rebuilding some of those same positions, dollar cost averaging every week. So I'm doing what's best for me. You got to do what's best for you. You are the captain of your portfolio. Steer it as best you can based off of your knowledge at that point in time, right? So we just want to be prepared to keep an eye on your stuff, set some stop losses. I don't talk too much about stop losses. I do bring it up from time to time. If you're not familiar with stop loss, you can Google stop loss. You could go to YouTube and type in stop loss. You need to know something about stop loss, because if not, you just watch your position turn red. And this is not proper English, but more redder and more redder and more redder and more. Okay, I think I made my point. I'm gonna leave that alone. But I'm getting ready to get out of here 13 minutes in. Just wanted to come in and say something because I haven't been here in a week. But I'm always excited about the market, both the stock market and the crypto market. It's amazing to me. I think they're both great vehicles to grow your money. I say oftentimes, whether I'm on the videos or when I'm talking to people one-on-one, the markets just birth new money over and over and over and over. And once you get to a certain number in the market, that snowball effect they keep talking about, that compound interest they keep talking about, it begins to blow your mind, right? When you get north of 100K, however long it took you to get that 100K, won't really matter when you see that 100K turn into 150K quickly. When you see that 150K turn into 200K real quickly. When you see that 200K turn into 275K real quickly. When you see that 275K turn into 325 real quickly. It's a snowball effect, right? And then when you need to, take money out, hopefully if you take money out, you have a 401k that you're working just as hard as your portfolio, so you have something to fall back on when you get to those golden years and you retire. Okay, I'm just moving my hands all around, weathering like a fish. My apologies, you can tell I'm still a little bit stuffy by the way I sound, but I feel good, folks. I feel good. I feel good about the market. I feel good about my portfolio. I feel good about the little knowledge that I have about the stock market and crypto. And I just want to encourage everyone else. The stock market does not discriminate, right? Doesn't care where you work at. Doesn't care what color you are, what religion you are. It just cares whether or not you learn the principles, you apply the principles, and then you will reap the harvest in due time, in due season. Okay, I can go on and on and on. I said I was going to cut it off 3 minutes ago, and I'm still going. So we're going to get ready to cut it out, people. But we want you to just take advantage of the stock market, right? Do this thing weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. Take advantage, right? Okay, maybe you might not be where I am today, or you might not be where Keenan Grace or Chris Sane or Stock Mo or Stocks with Josh or Larry Larry Jones is, but that's okay. You have to start somewhere, right? So that means I've been doing this since 2020. Larry been doing this longer than that. Keenan been doing this longer than that. So they have a right to be where they are. They have a right to be millionaires. They've been making the sacrifice. They've been learning the knowledge, right? You need to get in, and you need to make a better place for you, a better place for those that are tied to your purse strings, right? And it's not impossible. If you start today, 2 years from now, you will be much further down your financial road, and eventually you'll be able to tap in and pull money out as you need it, right? You never want to pull all your money out. You never want to sacrifice your thoroughbred racehorse. Case in point, Palantir. I got in Palantir at under $10, right? And if you've been following Palantir has been up over 100, and it's been up there. It's been up there. It's been up there. Up there. I could pull it up and tell you, but it's been up there. It's been up there, right? And the way I learned from Larry Jones, he talked about building strong positions. So you always hear me saying from time to time, you want to build strong positions, right? Strong positions mean double digits, right? Strong position mean if you can get to 100 shares, hey, that's an amazing thing. Yeah, that's hard to do. Well, if you get in something like SoFi, Palantir when they were under $10, it's not so hard a thing, right? 10 times 100 is, so it's possible, right? So anyway, I've been at the same 5 years, so now 100 be my goal for most anything I get in, unless it costs over $200, then 100 might not be so achievable quickly, but it still be my aim, right? So anyway, if you build 100 shares or something, and let's say you get in at 10 and it runs to 75, then you can take 20% profit, right? You can take 20% of that position off the table, and you could put it into someone else that has the opportunity to do what that is doing, right, down the road. So when you have 100 shares and it run up from 10 to 75, you can take 20%. It run up 110, you can take 10%. It run up 150, you can take 10%. Taking those 10% still leave you with, I said 10, I mean 20, whatever your vision is. But you still have not tons, but strong position left to take advantage of the continual gains as they continue to soar up. I talked about NVIDIA tons of time. Wow, 20 minutes in, I talked too much. NVIDIA, I got in it at 195. And in 18 months, that thing ran from 195 and I know it by heart. $1,330. That is a parabolic run for a stock, right? Crypto do things like that. We've been watching Ethereum. Ethereum run up from ran all the way up to 5K, right? So it, when you have strong positions, you can take advantage of selling a portion at a time. But you don't. That's what I was saying. You don't want to sacrifice your thoroughbred. Nvidia is a thoroughbred. So if you have a strong position and you want to take some profit, fine. But you don't want to sell the whole position because you don't know what that thoroughbred is going to continue to do. Look how long it's been doing it. Palantir. So thoroughbred. It's positioned themselves. The company has positioned themselves to continue to do great things for the next few years. And over those years, they have opportunity to continue to set themselves up to continue to do things for multiple years down the road. So I would be insane to set out my entire Palantir position, right? Okay. All right. I think I've made that point. I've hammered that nail to death. So we're gonna close out for real this time. I sound like a preacher now. That's my third, fourth, fifth time closing. It's been a pleasure coming here talking to you. Hopefully I've said something to help you out. Hopefully I've said something to push you in a better direction to continue your financial journey forward. I didn't say anything about Jasper Racine, the minority mindset, but that's one of my favorite persons. So you want to definitely look him up, follow Jasper Racine, the minority mindset. You want to follow people like Smart Money Bro, right? Mommy Trader, right? And there's countless folks out there that's sharing great information about the stock market, about the crypto market. Some people say, I don't mess with crypto. To each his own, right? But I mess with crypto. It's been good to me. So again, let me get out of here. You guys have a good one. My code, they say my tagline. My tagline is, be blessed, continue it, my friend.